You did it! You finally reached 1620 inside of Lost Ark, so it's time for your tier 4 journey. But you're maybe confused, what do I do next? What is up? Like, what kind of goals should I set myself? So, I made a full list of everything you should do once you reach 1620, and as well your journey into tier 4, and as well your journey onto finally getting some more characters on your roster. So, we're gonna get started with the big elephant in a room, and that is, you know, transferring your gear. Should you do it right away? Because maybe you heard of something like advanced honing. So I'm going to talk about this right now because it's a little bit different for a brand new player and a returning player that already had some characters and maybe did this raid once before. So if you're a brand new player, I would say do not do any advanced honing at all. Even if you have materials left over, the issue is you're going to have to do normal mode Echidna, which is going to be quite hard to find a party for as well. Otherwise, you're going to have to do solo mode, and I would just recommend just doing the hard mode instead. It's going to be a lot more gold, because the reason is if you want to start advanced honing, which is quite efficient with the materials you have, if you have tier 3 materials, you need to do the boss at least once. And you can see right now I cannot do advanced honing because it's unlocked after doing the raid. And like I said, hard mode is just that much better that I wouldn't recommend as a new player to waste that and just, you know, save yourself maybe 1% of progress. So if you're a brand new player, just go ahead and grab yourself your gear set, transfer it over, and then you're gonna look something like this. But if you're a returning player and you already had a character at 1620, 1640, and you did a kitten already, I would recommend the materials you have in your inventory, use them to advance hone. But do not touch any of your material boxes, okay? They can be very enticing. You can be like, oh, it's gonna be good for my main, but save them for your alts, and I'll explain later why. But just go ahead, and you can see right here, I have like 30,000 reds, I have 20,000 blues, I have some Aureas, I have some radiant leap zones as well. I can use all of these to advance hone, and it will maybe give me like a few item levels, which is gonna be nice. But otherwise, just move on and transfer your gear. Okay, up next, we probably don't have any special gems. It's probably gonna look like this, but if you're gonna go ahead and open up your package, you can see we're actually getting some gems. We're gonna get ourselves a pouch full of gems. Ooh, okay, so make sure you copy the build that you had before. You can use lostark.nexus as well if you need to get yourself a build, and you should have a full set of tier 4 gems equipped now, and it's gonna look awesome. I'm just gonna randomly equip some. It's fine. Like, I'm not gonna go into a raid currently, but it's still gonna look something like this with everything you have equipped that you need, and then you're ready to get going with the next step. As well, if you are a returning player and maybe already had some gems left from tier 3 that were tradable, you can either sell them or go to the gem experts and upgrade your gem. As you can see right here, I can take this gem and take a downgrade of 2 levels, but it turns into a tier 4 gem as well. So if you maybe had some level 7s or level 5s or anything like that, you can go ahead and transfer them here or just sell them directly on the market for some extra gold. Up next is we're gonna go to this nifty NPC right here, the exchange honing material NPC, but do not instantly go here and exchange everything, because we maybe have some materials that are tradable. If we go over, for example, to the enhancement material and we're gonna type in leapstone, we can see that the tier 4 leapstone costs 53 gold, but the radiant version costs 41 gold. I may be running, okay, so the other one's worth more, but if you exchange materials, it's a 1:5 exchange ratio. So you can see that selling your mats is actually a lot more beneficial. So you're gonna go over and just sell every single bit of tier 3 material. In my opinion, 99% of the time, these are gonna be worth more selling than if you would convert them. We're only gonna convert the bound version. So we're gonna sell this right now. We now have made sure that anything we're going to convert right now is going to be worth converting. So we're going to go ahead and convert all these materials, all of these, and all of these. So there we go. Now we are ready and have all our materials ready in tier 4 to start honing in here as well. You might be thinking, let's go ahead and hone some more, but I would just go ahead and do some other stuff first. So first off, double check if you've done all your basic horizontal. So in the top right, you can see the Arkesia Tour. It has 4 levels, which all of these are actually going to give you some great rewards and progression in horizontal things you need to get inside the games, like skill potions, and as well some other things like runes, which are super duper useful. Once you've done that, we're not done, because there's actually quite a bit of horizontal progression. If you're going to go ahead and type Alt+D, you're going to open up your codex, and here is going to be a interesting section for your character, and that's going to be first off skill point Potions. These are going to give you more skill points to use inside of your character. You can go ahead and go to level 12 if you are below level 65, level 13 if you go 65, and at level 70 you can go level 14. But you need a lot of skill points for this. You can see I only have 369 currently, but my main account is like 480 or something like that. So this is all because of these skill point potions. So you should, if you are a DPS, if you're a support, it's a little bit less important because anything above level 10 doesn't do anything. But if you are a DPS, you need to get every single skill point potion. So go over to the codex, go and check out where to get every single potion. Make sure, of course, to do Arkesia Tour first because you're going to get a lot already from Arkesia Tour, and then check where the rest of the potions are hidden and then go get these. Of course, some of these are really long, like for example the Ignite tokens collectible, but it still is super duper worth it. You're going to gain a ton of damage from your skill points, and if you do not have these, you're going to see a big lack in damage. In the meanwhile as well, you can start working on your Enlightment Potions. These are potions to use with the Ark passive. So currently there are 4 available, but you can only get 3 of these. So you can see we can get ourselves the North Curzon one, we can get ourselves the Epson Garrison and Finished Fight, which is the world boss. No, actually, sorry, it's a reputation. And then we have the world boss as well for the final potion. This one right here at the top is going to be the Blood Clot Shard. Sadly, it's not obtainable currently. We will get this soon with the Romaria expansion. So if Romaria is in the game by the time you're watching this video, you can actually get this Enlightment Potion as well. But it's very important to get these. I think this is actually a bigger priority than the normal skill potions. So you should get all of those first. And some of these as well, the items are just bound behind time. So make sure to do and check these out as soon as possible. Okay, so we've transferred our gear, we've maybe done a little bit of advanced honing, we've sold and converted our materials, we've done Arkesia Tour, we checked out skill potions, alignment potions, so now what is next? So I would do a little bit of planning ahead and look at your material stack and what you need. So Una tasks are a daily you can do every single day, but there's actually quite a few that places you can put it in. For example, you can do destiny shards, you can do leap stones, and you can of course do some other materials as well. And think about what you are gonna need and do those 3 dailies accordingly. So if you think you're gonna need a lot more leap stones, do leap stones first. Do you think that shards are actually super expensive and you're not getting that many? Maybe do some shard Udan tests instead. So that's something I would highly recommend doing. Of course, do your weeklies as well, and those are mainly just going to be your chaos, your guardian, and as well your cube. Speaking of dailies, of course, be sure to do them. Do your Guardian raids, do your new Curzon front, which replaces your Chaos dungeons. These are actually super important and are going to give you tons of materials or even tons of gold if you sell all those materials as well. As well, another big bit of your gold income in tier 4 is going to be coming from lifeskilling, because now with lifeskilling, you can go ahead and get yourself tier 4 materials, which sell for a lot more. So I'm going to go ahead and chop one tree. Of course, you should be doing dual logging. If you, of course, need the lifeskilling guide, it's on the channel. There we go. So we got ourselves, you can see the tier 4 materials, and they actually sell for a ton of money. So if we look right now, right here, these are selling for currently 62. The greens for 130, and you can see blues for 594, and then you can see Abydos Timber, which is on top of what you would get before, is another 797 per 100. So you can see life skilling turns into a very lucrative and profitable activity inside of tier 4. So definitely do that every single day while you're doing all the other activities. So we've done a bunch of different stuff already. We've unlocked some skill potions, we've done some horizontal. Of course, it's time to get into some raids, but a little bit of a checklist before we get into it, because we got to make sure that our character is good enough to do something. So first off, double check your build. Go to lostlight.nexus. You got probably a lot of new runes. Make sure that everything is up to snuff and is in the right order. Maybe even watch a guide of how to play your class as well. There should be plenty of videos out there for people explaining how you play your raids, and otherwise just go to Twitch and watch some people play your class instead. Up next, of course, is checking your Ark passive, because if you've reached level 65, if you have some level up potions, be sure to use them, and you should be around level 65 currently. Once you've reached level 65, you actually unlock a big milestone for DPS players. As you can see right here, you probably are looking at something like this, but if you reach level 65 and you get rid of 1 point in your second row, you can get yourself any of the bottom rows 1 level. So if you want MP furnishing into it, you can get yourself Standing Striker and any of those. But I would not recommend going Bluntthorn. It's actually really weak as a level 1 form. So if you are a Bluntthorn build, just go Standing Striker instead, or just take the 3rd level in the Limit Break. Sadly, if you're a support, you have no purpose for this because you need all 3 points and all 2 points on the right to do your support build, so it is what it is. But if you are a DPS, boom, you can get yourself that final row for the first time once you reach yourself level 65. Maybe thinking, how do I get more evolution points? It's super simple. You have to get yourself an upgrade of your gear, which is going to be at 1660 when you defeat a gear. You're going to get yourself the ancient tier gear, and you can just transfer it up, and that will give you more points, but sadly that will take a while. Up next, of course, we have the Enlightment tier. Make sure that your accessories are good enough as well. Double check them, and if you are good to go, you should have something like this. So you may be thinking, do I upgrade to Relic? The answer is technically no, because you can see the amount of alignment points you get from these accessories are the exact same as the ones you got for free from the event. So you could upgrade if you see it's a better stat roll for you, but just based for alignment points, you actually don't have to upgrade your accessories at all. These alignment points, besides that, of course, are locked behind the skill potions and once again your level. So that's why we have to get as many as possible, because we want to reach that level 3 at least as soon as possible on your alignment tree, which will give you your access to your full class engraving. And then, of course, the last part, which is gonna be the constant lock Hyper Awakening. Yes, because actually, if you reach 1640, you get yourself an access to 2 new skills: a Tskill, which is an additional damage skill, and a Hyper Awakening skill, which is gonna give you a one-time spell every raid to do a ton of damage. If you're wondering where this quest is, it's literally if you're in Elneed right here, and it's this quest on the middle of the map on the bottom left. Right here, just talk to this little pool and it will give you your Hyper Awakening once you finish this quest. We're almost there. Some final fine-tuning things for your character. Of course, first off is check if you have your level 5 tripods on your most important skills. You get some for free from the game, as you can see right here. Wishful Amulet will give you access to a level 5 tripod. So if you use these, you can see you can upgrade any of these level 4s to level 5s, and they're going to give you a big boost. When your tripods are done, of course, check out your elixirs as well. You can get yourself some nice set of elixirs from the Mokoku shop if you look right here. So this is going to be elixir set. If you go ahead and buy this right here, you can go ahead and open it up, and it's going to give you some elixirs to use and to craft. So of course, these elixirs are going to be maybe better than what you have currently, because everyone starts off with a luck set, which is not good. Go again to Lost Ark Nexus and check out which elixir set you're using. Probably you're going to be using Critical or Master, and otherwise it's going to be Luminary for supports. So make sure you're going to get this set, because it's so useful, and it's very OP for the amount of time it takes to cut elixirs. So once you've done your elixirs, it's next, of course, going to be Trancendance. So Trancendance you get yourself from Behemoth and as well Thamine. So Thamine's going to give you all your armor pieces, and Behemoth, once you clear it for the first time, you can go ahead and transcend your weapon. So if I click right here on Liberate, you can see I got some Dark Fires from the game. We can use this and of course do our little mini game. Our goal is to get all level 7s done with 3 flowers. If I right now will hover over this, you can see from the game we get ourselves the first 3 levels for free, but there's 7 levels in total with 3 flowers each level. So just go ahead and do this progress. It's going to cost some gold, but besides that, it's going to give you a lot of damage. So do your Transcendence and don't forget about it. So we got our elixirs, we got our tripods, we got our Transcendence, we made sure our build is good, we got ourselves our new level in the Ark passive, we got our gear transferred. It's time for raids. Heck yes. So of course the 3 raids you're going to be doing, it's going to be super simple. You're going to be doing hard mode Thamine. That's going to be the first one at 1620. We're going to have ourselves as well hard mode Echidna, which is a 1630 raid, and then as well we're going to do Behemoth, which is a 1620 raid. All of these, of course, because you are a Mokoko as a brand new player, is absolutely awesome. If I type it right here, look at this. I'm going to make it one, and you're going to have a little leaf. This leaf indicates that everyone wants to be your friend, because they're going to get free tokens by just pairing up with you. So getting into a lobby is not going to be too hard, but a lot of people will want to boost you past the content as soon as possible. So I would still recommend looking up a guide, maybe even doing a learning lobby with other people if you really want to learn the raid, because a lot of people are just going to carry you and you're not going to learn that much, especially if you're on the ground, because you died to the first mechanic. So I would highly recommend watching some guides before you step into the raid. Okay, you huffed and you puffed and you made it through all 3 raids. You have yourself a really good gold stack. What is up next? So you can be thinking about 2 things. First of all, do we want to get started with alts? Is the answer yes? And of course, we're going to get into that. But if the answer is no, what can you do instead? So I would recommend getting your character, your main, to 1660. So this, of course, will unlock the next raid, which is going to be A gear. This is going to give you your new ancient gear materials, which is going to be awesome, which unlocks more points and will let your character be a little bit more fun. So you can go and do that. It's totally fine. If you don't want to do any alts or anything at this point and you just want to hone your main character, feel free to do it. Start honing these pieces, get them up there, and get 1660. So you've either chosen to start working on alts or you've got 1660 by now, then it is finally time to do more alt stuff. Yes, I'm sorry, it is just a play reality. If you really want to progress in Lost Ark at a decent pace, you're gonna have to make alt characters. So here we go. We've decided, of course, on making a random alt. So I have a few tips, of course, of choosing your alt. I do have a tier list on what characters are the best for new or returning players. If you want to follow that, be sure to do that. As well, I would recommend, if you want to be most efficient, go ahead and make the same class as your main, because you can go ahead and share things between them like gems, etc. Or make a support, because supports are very needed in the game. So besides all that, you're right now in the game and you're wondering what is next. How do I get this character up to like 1580 or 1600 or actually get some gold out of this bad boy? So for every single character, you have two options, and that's either doing the free-to-play way or doing the pay-to-play way. I'm sorry, guys, because of course, those are the two options in this game, but I want to give both of these, because some people want to spend a bit of money to save some time, and some people are like, I want to spend $0, and I still want to make it there. Both options are fully valuable, but of course, I want to give some tips and tricks for you guys to face as well. So we're going to get started with the paid version, because this one is actually a little bit more hard than the free-to-play version. Here we have ourselves on the menu with our new character, and we can see, of course, there's a big shiny power pass button. So this power pass button allows us to skip story and give us gear based on the story we go to. So for example, if we go to South Kurazan, we get ourselves 1585 gear, which is, you know, pretty awesome. If you're paying 5,500 royal crystals, you're already immediately done, and you got one alt at 1580 to make yourself some gold. But this is not the most efficient way of doing things, because how this works, actually, these prices are not static. They're based on how far your progression is in the game. So if you are, for example, already at Elgasia story tier, so not even eye level. The eye level doesn't matter. For example, this gives you 1460 gear, but Elgasia, I think, is 1415. If you complete the whole Elgasia story, you do get the discount already. So it just shows based on what story you have completed. So if I would have completed Elgasia, actually North Kurazan would only cost me 3,300, because you get to sell the amount of discount that the pass would cost to get there. So it cost me 3,300 to get to Elgasia. If I do this myself manually, I save 3,300 for the future passes, which is absolutely awesome. So of course, there is the most cost-efficient way to get to these places, so I'm going to explain that right now as well. And this is going to be the same for both characters. You are not doing the 1 to 50 story unless you want to. You're going to go ahead and go top right, click that knowledge transfer button, which allows you to go to your stronghold right away. And once you're in your stronghold, go talk to this knowledge transfer machine right here, and then you can see you can go ahead for 600 gold only, which is super worth it. You can skip all the way to level 50 and get everything unlocked right there. So it's going to transfer it up. You're going to go ahead and do this, and boom, we are now level 50. Look at that. We even get ourselves a nice little set of gear. So let's go ahead and open that up as well. Look at that. We're now 500 eye level. So as well, of course, your builds, everything like that, go ahead and work on that stuff, you know, check out some guides. We can now do all the dungeons, all the other stuff, but we need to move on from here. So first thing first off, you should check your stronghold and go to your lab and go check out your roster help. You can see at the bottom right here, it says Tier 2 exchange honing increase, reduced XP, Tier 3 success rate, reduced XP. You need to go ahead and learn all of these, okay? Go here and learn them. Go get all these. It will save you so much money, and this is for all your alts. If you want to, of course, you can use your stat chips to go ahead and skip this. So we're going to do this right now. Of course, if you need more materials, just buy them from the market or get them yourself if you want to. Time reduction. You can see we're spending all these chips. You should have all of these. This is a brand new fresh account. Go all the way down. There's nothing there anymore. We're good to go. So now we can go ahead and start honing. And still, even if you're paid to winning, guys, you're still honing now. So we're going to go to Vern. And we're gonna start honing. So this is the reason why we didn't use any of the chests on advanced honing, is because my alts will need it. So I'm gonna show you right now. I don't have that many tokens, but I can show right now all of these chests at least once. So we're gonna grab one of these, one of these, one of these, one of these. So if you look at these chests, which you get from the event, or any of them from the game as well, they will actually contain some starter mats. So you can see these right here, the honor shard pouches, are actually the materials we're going to use for this. So we're going to open this up. I'm using one package, right? Look how many shards you actually get. Like, we have 20,000 right now. This is like nothing. Let's get us all these levels. Look at that. We're spending none at all. We spent 4,000. We've opened up one bag. So this allows you to just go ahead and hone and get yourself higher eye level gear. So we're going to keep on honing and honing and honing and honing until you're just out of materials. And then you have, of course, to go ahead and do some more knowledge transfer. So now you've done a lot more honing and your eye level is going to be a little higher. Of course, I'm not doing it right now on this character. I'm not really too bothered, but you can see right here, if you get yourself eye levels, you can actually skip story once again. So this is why we made a lot of gold on the main character, because you can either, of course, do the story yourself, or you can use the knowledge vault to transfer and to just skip past places. So you can see you can get yourself Yorn, Phaeton, Punica, and all this you can literally do with your starter gear. You can get yourself that 1100 eye level super duper duper easy. So like I said, if you want to pay to win, you can skip with that as well. So we're now just going to go ahead and hone all the way to 1100. Use, like, what is this, 2400 gold, so 4000 gold, 5400 gold, 6400 gold to get yourself a 1100 eye level character. So then you have the option, of course, do we want to spend a little bit of money, or do we want to continue ourselves? If you're a free-to-play player, you're just going to continue. You can as well choose to just do the stories yourself, or you can choose to skip. Choosing to skip, of course, costs you gold. You can see if I go over here, South Vern is going to be 3,600, 4,800. It's going to be ramping up in price, guys. Ramping up in price, because we need to get ourselves to 1,580. So 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000. So it is very expensive to get to these levels. I would just recommend maybe just doing it yourself manually. It doesn't take that long, but this is just sadly the free-to-play way. You just go ahead and upgrade your character with those materials. You're gonna get there, and you will just stop at 1580, and you will be there right now. But of course, if you're paying money, you can save yourself a lot of time. As you saw right there, it was not expensive to get to Punica, so let's just assume we're now at Punica level. So you can see already, because I completed the first story, I have a 1100 discount. But of course, if we would be at Elgasia level, we would get a 3300 discount. So you can choose to do either one of the two things. If you want to spend a little bit of time to do more story, just do and get Volus done manually. So get yourself the eye level for Volus, do Volus, and get yourself all this bought up, and then it will only cost you 1100 royal crystals to get to South Kurazan. If you're like, I am not bothered, this was already good enough for my alt progression and I want to pay 2200 royal crystals, which is around 20 bucks, then go from Elgasia and just boost all the way to South Kurazan. If you, of course, want to spend more money, is all up to your own budget, all up to what you want to do. You can go North Kurazan as well, because if you go North Kurazan, you never have to touch that alt ever again. You will eventually, though, if you go to your alt, you will go past 1580, you will go to 1600, but like I said, if you want to spend more money, you can do that. But keep in mind, you want to make 5 alts. So do you want to spend 50 bucks extra for something you can do manually as well? That's up to you. You're going to lose out on a lot of materials as well, so keep that in mind. So I personally would just recommend either going to Elgasia, like knowledge transferring, all that kind of stuff, then go to South Kurazan, or of course go to Elgasia with knowledge transfer and then manually do Volus and then pay 10 bucks for South Kurazan. Maybe wondering, of course, how much money am I actually making from these characters if I get them to 1580, 1600, or what would a 1640 even make? So I got myself that gold right here. So we got a 1580, we got a 1600, and we got a 1640. So in my opinion, if you're doing 1580, you're probably just going to do solo modes. It's going to be pretty hard to find lobbies. You can do, of course, do normal modes or hard modes. You will earn a little bit more gold, but most of the people will choose the solo mode option instead. You can see if you do that, you earn yourself 10,880 gold per character, which of course times 5 will earn you around 50k, which is very, very nice. If you plan on upping your character to 1600, will cost you a little bit of gold, but it's not too bad, and this is the maximum, in my opinion, you should be getting. Or, of course, if you want to go ahead and spend that extra 1100 royal crystals to get to the North Kurazan skip, then you can see instead, if you would be doing, of course, the group raids, you will earn yourself 18,800. If you still are doing only solo raids, the difference is an extra 2,000 16,000 gold per character, which is not that bad. It's still 50, it's still 10k extra if you do 5 characters, but in my opinion, if you're getting 1600, try to do at least a few of these, at least in group, because you can see it earns you a lot more gold. And of course, if you're 1600, maybe you get into parties a little bit easier. Up next, of course, we have the 1640, and you can see they're actually earning a lot more gold. 56,300 from doing your 3 raids, and the reason that it's this high is because, of course, these rates are so much better. But there's a big caveat with this as well. So some quick maths, of course, is how much more are you actually making if you're doing yourself your normal, your hard modes in a group, and compared to, of course, the 1640. A 1640 is making 37,500 gold more a week, which is a lot of gold. Like, if you think about it, it's a lot of gold. But of course, this comes at a big price, and that is getting to 1640. So first of all, these are going to be the items you're going to need to reach 1600. So keep this in mind. This is going to go from 1580 to 1600. You can see it's already quite pricey. It's 100,000 gold. This is why, in my opinion, this is something you can do later. You don't go to 1600 right away, or you can, of course, use that skip if you want to. You can see you need a lot of materials. You need around 770,000 of the shards. You need 800 Aureas. You need a lot of other items as well to reach 1600. But this is doable. This is not too bad, because you can have books, you can have other things as well to save you a little bit of gold. But if we go a little bit further, which is the 1620, so let's just say you go from 1580 to 1620, this is the price you're going to be met with. So raw gold alone, it will cost you 555,000 gold on average. You will need 4.6 million shards, you need 5,000 Aureas, you need yourself 80,000 reds, 280,000 blues, and 9,000 leap stones. So if you buy them from the market, and it will cost you 6 mil. Yes, 6 million gold. I think that these prices are a little bit high. So let's just say you're paying 500 for a bag, which is, you're not gonna get this. You're still paying 3.5 million if you want to skip right away by using materials. So you can see why making a alt currently is giga expensive. And even if you think you have all materials scattered up right, you have everything, it will cost you 555,000 gold alone to get there. So you've done your life skilling, you've crafted your Aureas, you got all these materials, you got 4.6 million shards. It will still cost you 555,000 gold to go from 1580 to 1600. So keeping that in mind, of course, once again, so if we need to keep in mind that the cost is 555,000 and we divide it by 37,500, we will need 14.8, so 15 weeks of doing the new raids to earn back the golds, compared to just leaving it at 1580 or going 1600 to go back and make the gold back that we spent on the character. Of course, we can have more fun with the character, that's a different question, but the amount of gold it's gonna cost, if you have every material ready, it will cost you 15 weeks. But keep in mind, you do get yourself your Chaos Dungeon, you get yourself your Guardian Raids, you earn gold from that. So let's just say on average, it will still be 8 weeks-ish, probably, to make your gold back, which is 2 months. That doesn't seem too bad. But like I said, that is imagining you have everything. And this will take you probably, I would even say, like half a year at least, to maybe even a year of gathering every single day in your character to get all these materials. And then you still have to pay the 555k, which is worth like 2 months of work. So it is just very, very expensive. And if you're wondering whenever will I go 60-40, then that is the point where you get yourself every material. If you have every material ready and you just have to pay the 550k, it is an okay deal in my opinion. But if you would have to go ahead and spend any golden materials, it is never worth it. Never, ever, ever, ever. So a final little tip, and that is of course what I would do myself, is this. Push all alts to 1580. This is after I, of course, got 1640. I then go push my main to 1660. I will then push my alts to 1600 to get myself the extra gold income. And then I will push my main to 1680 while farming mats on the alts and never hone past 1600. I know it can sound a little bit disheartening to be like, okay, you just cannot get other characters in tier 4, but that's just the plain reality. You're sadly playing a pay-to-win Korean MMO, and if you're not paying, you're probably just not gonna get there without a event. So yeah, it's just a sad reality, but if you want to get there, you're gonna have to swipe and probably spend some good money. So quick little recap. Get to 1640, do your raids. In my opinion, then make alts to 1580. then get your character to 1660, 1680, maybe after that get your alts to 1600, and just let them leave there and farm materials until they are ready, get every single material to hone, and then move on to tier 4 by paying 550,000 gold. This will, of course, will take you a long time, and probably the game will hopefully have some nerfs, some events in the meanwhile to help you progress to that a little bit quicker. So I think that's it. That should make you ready for tier 4, get you all your raids done, and get you started on your full roster. If you guys thought this video was enjoyable or was helpful, of course, hit the like button down below, guys. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys again in 2 days for another video. Of course, if you need some extra help, come join me on Twitch/ImDefild for some more advice, and I'll see you guys later for another video. And I'll say, take care, guys, and good luck.